Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have another great guest on, and we're talking about a very important, impactful area, and it is financial advisement, because sometimes people get so confused on what that actually means, and part of that is because there's so many different aspects to financial advisement. I mean, you have advisement on your personal life and your business life, and even when you go even deeper into that, there are different aspects of your business that you need advisement on. There are different aspects of your personal life. So I wanted to bring on a great guy that I had the fortune of meeting here in Charlotte, who is a financial advisor, a real estate investor, and he's also giving back as a mentor, helping small business owners. So welcome to the show, Mr. Ivory.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure's mine.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I've given a little bit of the highlights of your background and just, I've done the 10,000 foot view. Can you give us a little bit more context on just kind of, what led you into being a financial advisor?
Yeah. I've been in this industry for about 7 years now. Started off in insurance sales, property and casualty, your homeowners insurance and the such. Went to banking and really like kind of got the hang of, being around business owner. I was a business banker. So I kind of got the bug, to be an entrepreneur and work for myself. Got into real estate and then having all this knowledge and also trade stocks, by the way, doing that whole thing. It just kind of clicked to me to say, hey, why don't you just do holistic advising versus just, doing your talents just for the bank. And that's what I've been doing.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things we hear is that as you were, working in banking and working with a lot of business owners, did you find that many of the business owners who came to see you in that capacity, that they understood kind of how the relationship between them and the bank should work?
No, not at all. So I would find myself going out to, places and just spending money, trying to get a casual conversation and say, hey, by the way, I'm working for that bank down the street on the corner. You want to come over and talk about how your account is set up and your cash flow, what comes in, what comes out, how are you managing that? Nah, I'm good. I got a guy over here. I already got a bank over here. So, they never understood it. But then after you kind of, connect with them and understand what's going on, how to make things more efficient, then they understand like, hey, wow, well, I can actually get this kind of loan here, or I could actually do these things. I never knew that, if I put this amount of money here, that you guys will do these things for me. So it takes some time for people to learn initially, unless they already have something in mind where they, hey, I've been looking for someone to come by. I need you to do, this list of things. So.
I know. Now, speaking of that, I mean, I think it brings up a very interesting point, and it's a discussion that I have a lot with other entrepreneurs. Think when I came from corporate and then coming into business ownership, to where there's so much giving that you do on the front end before it turns into a sale. So was that the same? Did you see the same thing in your transition?
Oh yeah, man, it was extremely difficult. So, coming from that bank, I was like, hey, I already got these clients, right, already. I'm just going to take everybody with me, and thought it would be that easy. And it was quite the opposite, because then it turned into a game of, well, you did so much great work for this company before. Why would I leave them and come to this new outfit, right? So I had to reinvent myself. I had to let go of, the business banker role and reestablish myself as the go-to financial expert, that go-to financial resource. So it took a lot of, like what you said, educating the community, making myself known, and honestly having that true mission, because, my true mission behind this is legacy, generational wealth for me, my family, my children, and I want to teach that to our community. So, having that passion, it helped a lot, because then people kind of saw my drive, and then they started coming along, the way, versus before I was trying to pull them to me, and that wouldn't work. But it was definitely the first 3 years of a business, is the most difficult. I can attest to that.
It definitely has been, I will say, even for myself, it's been that interesting thing of, being able to put yourself in that position to share
Yeah.
the value to be able to educate people to where people start to recognize like, oh, okay, this guy knows something. Okay. Oh, this guy knows something that I need to know. It's like, oh, this guy's approachable. I can actually go to it. And it's just like these
Yeah,
stages. And,
yeah.
it's always interesting to see that because, I'm curious for yourself. I mean, when you talked about, having a mission, how that clarified it for you, how did you go about, really communicating that mission so people could even know you had a mission to be able to
Yeah.
gravitate to that?
Yeah, it was extremely difficult, to be honest. I'm from Ohio, so I do have a little bit of a different kind of talk, vernacular. So then I used to speak very fast. So then people would look at me like, "Oh, you're just a fast talker, right?" So the main thing was just really understanding how to change my language, how to, really, get out of the lack mindset. Hey, I don't have any clients. I need a client. Hey, and then when I really just kind of stopped and thought about it, I was, hey, why am I really doing this? Because it got really hard at one point. Why am I really doing this? I'm just going to go back to corporate, get that salary again and just, kind of go back to that way. And then I was like, no, I'm looking at my son, I got my daughter, and I'm like, I'm doing this for them. I don't want to work crazy hours like I have been in the past because I want to be at track practice, because I want to be at the dance recital. So having that mission, having that kind of internal drive allowed me to get the language together to really write down, to have it somewhere where it's recitable. And then after a while, it tailored and, kind of, sharpened up over time.
Now, I guess, was there a mentor, or did you kind of just come to the realization of kind of the language disconnect? I mean, or how'd you
Yeah.
figure that was something you needed to work on?
Yeah, I had a mentor. She's from New Jersey. She was on city council there, and is now retired and wants to do something big here in Charlotte. And I actually ran into her in one of her areas of specialty is branding. And I had what I would call a controversial background. I got shot, and I was scared to tell people that, being a Black man in finance. I didn't want people to look at me negatively, so I would not communicate that. But then she was like, "This is a powerful story. People relate to those kind of things." And it wasn't because I was doing anything wrong. I was just literally wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. But yeah, she taught me how to take your message, take your drive, take your life, and then put it into like this mission statement. And she helped me formulate the basis of that.
Nice, nice. No, I absolutely love that because it's one of those things that I find even, when I'm doing CFO services with different businesses, is that the people who tend to have a little bit more clarity on their mission and their why, it's just like their progression just seems to flow a little bit more smoother. I'm not going to say it flows smooth, it just flows smoother than people who don't really have that clarity because they're kind of blowing by the wind up and down, left and right. But it's just like people who have that seem to be a little bit more steady in their pursuit.
Yeah, yeah. I would say it's kind of like taming the dragon, I guess, if you would. A lot of people, especially from my experience, I see a lot of entrepreneurs. They're so passionate about what they got going on. They're so focused. They're so driven. They're so I gotta go, but they never slow down and take that two steps forward kind of type of thing. And I think a mentor, being that a lot of times they've experienced what you're going through, or they have the knowledge on the area and they can kind of guide you through it a little easier, makes that much of a difference. I didn't value mentorship until I knew that I had a mentor, because she didn't come out and say it. She just said, "Hey, I'm going to start charging you for this." and I was like, "I would gladly pay," but I didn't know that I was being mentored. I just kind of took her as that, that mother kind of figure, but she was my business mother is what I refer to her as. So, yeah.
Nice, nice. Now, that brings me to, you're a mentor yourself with SCORE.
Yeah.
So, how did that come about? And, what are the things that you do there to help other business owners?
Yeah. So SCORE came about just working in the community. I wanted to find a different way to help, the community. And then being a financial advisor, I'm a fee-based advisor. Typically, I don't just give too much information out for free anymore. So this is a way to kind of help, the community get to the level where it's, everyone's productive, everyone's making money. Well, now at that point, when things start getting complicated, the business is growing, then you want to come find, that advisor to help you with that business planning and life planning.
Gotcha. Now, so how often are you like working with business owners through the mentorship, or I guess, or how can businesses that are interested in mentorship, how can they get in contact with SCORE?
Yeah, so you'll just go to the score.org website. It's a national program, funded by SBA. So there's local chapters. So you'll click on there, and the first thing you want to do is find a mentor. And then it's tons of different mentors. So you'll get matched up to one. Everybody has different specialties. Me with a financial background, you have operational managers and executive retired people, and then active people as well. So you'll get matched up, and then from there, they'll just start kind of reviewing, your goals, your objectives. So if it's, hey, I need to really understand how to write a business plan, well, you're going to get, partnered with someone who does that a lot. If you want to help with your financials, then you're going to get partnered with someone that does that a lot. So
Gotcha. Nice. So, going back to the financial advising, I mean, most of our guests that watch the show and listen to the show are small business owners. And a lot of times, when talking to small business owners, they understand that, hey, I need a bookkeeper or a CPA to help me with aspects of my business, but they don't always think I need a financial advisor to help me kind of put the pieces together. So I would say to the small business owner audience, can you help them understand like what role the financial advisor kind of plays in their overall picture?
yeah, absolutely. Well, number one and foremost, your financial advisor is really your quarterback. We partner with the CPAs, we partner with your lawyers, and we partner with you to build that initial team, to be successful. So with that being said, typically, for your startup kind of, business owners, you start with your accounting. You want to make sure that your books are in place, that you can understand your financials so that you can start kind of navigating the decisions that you want to make. Well, then once you get a handle of that, then you want to start talking about, well, how do I keep my business equity in my business, or how do I take that equity and plan it for my lifestyle, right? Because your business is what funds your lifestyle. So at that point, that's when you want to get and start talking to a financial advisor. So essentially, if you're making, profit, you want to talk about retirement benefit strategies. Hey, I'm a business owner. I need health insurance. I need disability insurance. Hey, I have an employee that is excellent, and if something happened to that employee, my business would be devastating trying to replace them. Well, I need to make sure that my business liability is protected in that situation. 401ks, I want to retire. Well, I want to actually reduce some of my taxable, income as well. Well, how do we do that? Well, we work with your CPA to, come up with a strategy and put this dollar amount to give you the deductions that you need from the business and personally. So it could be, very complex with the layers. But what I would just say is as soon as you understand that, you start off with your CPA, as soon as you start understanding your financials, then you talk to a financial advisor for more broader strategies for everything, not just a particular area.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Now, before we wrap up, one question I would say is, if people are looking to connect with you, reach out to you on social media, how do they find you?
Yeah, I think the best way to do that would be either Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm very active on both platforms. If you just search my name, Devonte Ivory, Devonte. I know this is a lot of variations going around nowadays, but Devonte Ivory. I'm on all those platforms. Just reach out, communicate. Love to have conversations.
Awesome. And then one other thing before we wrap up, I always like to ask every guest that comes on. I mean, when you think about your experience and you think about your expertise from that angle, what's two pieces of advice that you would share or things that you would say, hey, a business owner should probably keep this in mind as they're going through their journey?
Yeah. Um, I would say, that's a good question. Let me think a little bit more on that one before I give an answer. Uh, yeah, I would just say start with the end in mind. I would say that you're not in business to be the business, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You get in business to provide a lifestyle for you. So with that ultimate, goal, make sure that you understand, how to plan to get there, like a GPS, if you would, so that the journey is that much easier versus walking through a jungle without a tour guide type of thing. So just start with the end in mind and make sure all your actions are aligned along the way.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Mr. Ivory, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's definitely been a pleasure having you. Thank you for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like our content, be sure to follow us on social media. And if you want to see more of our exclusive content, you can subscribe and become a member on patreon.com/Business Talk Library. Hey, the Business Talk Library is the place where business makes sense.